So now it has officially taken Blue Wizard Digital 5 years to make any update at all to the combat system. The combat system was updated once. It got a massive rework in 2018 or sometime in 2017. I don't actually know, but I think it was 2018. It has stayed in the same weird state that it's been, but ultimately fine. Obviously the main complaints being all the glitches and the lag, and now the combat system has finally been updated. I started to notice every gun behaving very differently, and I was like, what the fuck? This is kind of crazy. They've actually updated the game, and I was like, oh, maybe this is better. Maybe they finally made it better. After playing a bit, I looked up the changes and I was like, they added ADS. They added ADS to the game, and I was like, wait, that's kind of cool. So basically in ADS, what it does is on every weapon, it makes it more accurate and it makes the spread recovery faster, but it slows you down, which makes sense. That's how it should be. That's how it is in every other game that has ADS. I'm not going to show anything. This is just going to be my voice. I'm just going to explain kind of the changes to each weapon and the effect these changes have and how the balance between the weapons and how they work together. And this is just me after playing this update for like 2 hours. The first kind of things I tried out are the Tryhard and the AK. So those have definitely been improved. Their no scope is still pretty decent, but their scope is really good. I mean, it's increased the functional range of AK spam noticeably and increased the tapping range of AK to almost cross map, and pretty much the same with the Tryhard. No scope range has decreased, the scoped range has increased. Whipper, on the other hand, overall is a nerf. The Whipper, of course, is a shorter range weapon. There's really no way to do the Whipper properly other than going up close and jumping all around. And the Whipper can still do that at a very close range, but if you just get a little bit farther away from them, you can see a dramatic decrease in the Whipper's accuracy, no scoped. So it effectively decreases the Whipper's range even further. And obviously if you scope, you can increase that range, but that means you won't be able to dodge anymore. And I'm talking about a range where any other short range weapon would be able to kill easily no scoped, and the Whipper kind of struggles to do damage at that distance. So that kind of puts the Whipper in a little bit of a pickle. And the shotgun now has the same problem. It does not do the same level of damage it did at almost any range unscoped. And to successfully do one shots and do damage, you kind of have to scope. In the shotgun, it isn't affected as bad because it's fairly easy to jump and then scope while you're jumped and just get off an accurate shot like that. The RPG is pretty much the same. No one's even aiming with the RPG anyway. Pistol is pretty accurate. Honestly, instead of spamming the pistol, because if you just tap the pistol and wait for it to spread recover when someone's low, I found that maybe, possibly, it's better just to do single shots. You'll probably get close to the same result as long as you're accurate, but using up way less ammo. By far, the biggest nerf is the crack shot. That was the one I was most disappointed in. What they did with the crack shot, I don't know why they did this. The time it takes for the spread to go down and be accurate is much longer, which means it takes a lot longer to shoot. Of course, as it was at close range, it kind of kills better than it used to, but it takes a long time for the crack shot's aim to get all the way down. When you're fighting any other weapon, it is harder to kill anybody else because they just have so much more time between shots to kill you, and you have barely any time, not enough time to get your aim down enough to kill somebody reliably while still dodging. It's very hard when you're up against just a couple mid-level players that are dodging around. You need your accuracy to be small, but you don't have time to just sit there because they'll just kill you. But then how do you ever kill them? I ran into a couple situations like that. I was actually like, wait a minute, I can't shoot these people. I can't aim. I have to run away because I can't stop and shoot them, because if they shoot their shotgun, they're, pretty much gonna be reloaded by the time my spread's down. And so yes, obviously all of these weapons will still function, and especially in pubs, you will still get streaks with all of them. I dropped like a 30, a 20, I dropped like 5 or 6 large kill streaks today, between like 30 and 40, and more between 20 and 30. And the saddest part about this crackshot nerf is that the free ranger is pretty much the same. The spread recovery, I think, is almost exactly the same. It does suffer a little bit from the same problem when you go from jumping right into trying to shoot, but when you're shooting multiple shots, the spread has just as good spread recovery as before, which means in a crackshot free ranger battle, for two players of the same level might trade kills, or maybe the crack shot would be a little bit better because of the free ranger's less accuracy and damage. Now, it would be extremely difficult for the crack shot to go up against the free ranger. And the free ranger is not any worse against other weapons. And that's just sad to see. I mean, the crack shot is, obviously it's still usable, but like it's pretty much gone. It's not the meta anymore. And just playing this, I was just thinking, this is like not as fun. Of course, playing the AK and the tryhard, it was super great because of the buffs. They're kind of the meta now, but going on the whipper or going on the crack shot, two of the most powerful weapons, does not feel fun anymore. Of course, what do you expect? I probably should have expected this, that eventually Blue Wizard Digital would roll out an update trying to be cool and completely upset the balance of the weapons. They shouldn't have done that. Just not as fun. And I don't say that because it was hard for me to come to understand or use all these strats. I was able to figure all that out really quickly. I had no problem like learning the new strats, how to use all the weapons. I had no problem, but it doesn't feel fun. And I don't think it's because I just hate changes. I maybe could have lived with the shotgun and the whipper being nerfed, but the crack shot was definitely the last straw for me. Not being able to use the crack shot, it's just not it. As the state the game is in now, obviously, which it has always been, which is a completely horrible state, obviously. It was just fun enough for me to be willing to play it, and now I almost don't have a reason to play Shell Shockers anymore to justify me spending time on this game rather than any other infinitely better developed game. So I don't know, I may play Shell Shockers occasionally, but I don't feel like it's good anymore. I've always accepted that Shell Shockers is a bad game. Ever since I started playing better games, I've kind of moved away from playing Shell Shockers as much. Still played it, still good. I only get dubs, right? I still only get dubs in Shell Shockers. I was planning on finishing the practicing Shell Shockers videos, which probably won't continue at this point. I also was planning a tutorial series on how to use each weapon and put a lot of time into at some point, but that feels kind of pointless now. It might finally be the time to move away from Shell Shockers. They kind of ruined the game. That's kind of a weird thing to say, because how do you ruin a game that's already bad? At least at this point, I can't see myself doing many Shell Shockers videos, maybe at all. Maybe instead of playing Shell Shockers, I could play more Frontlines. I could just hop on Roblox Frontlines and just get sweaty. That's just like an infinitely better alternative to Shell Shockers. Maybe I'll check up on it once in a while. Honestly, Shell Shockers was good while it lasted. Definitely a solid 6 years of fun, but I guess it's run its course, unless somehow maybe they revoke their changes, which I don't know if I see that happening, but if they do, I'll definitely probably continue making content, but I really don't see that happening. On the screen right now are my stats, eggs that I've collected, all my skins that I've had from over the years, pretty much the entire history of my account. I found out that I finally reached 5 KDR, which is insane considering that that is my KDR from before I was good. It would still take an insane amount of playing and massive kill streaks to move my KDR up by even a couple hundreds. It's a crazy accomplishment that I think it happened kind of all at once pretty recently, that I was able to push through and get a 5 KDR. I mean, obviously, like, if you took my actual like KDR ever since like 2020, 2021, it's probably like at least 10 KDR. Right? Because of all the streaks I've gotten. There's actually a stat here that, of course, these stats were like only started being recorded recently. It says right here, my KDR for Capsule of the Spatula is actually just 15. So yeah, I mean, if you play the game for yourself, you'll be able to see firsthand everything I described. That's gonna be it. Expect more content, and it's probably time to say goodbye to Shellshockers. It's been 6 years. It's been a good run. On the upside, though, I'm getting real close to 100%ing an actual game, a game called Deep Rock Galactic, and I'm going to make some videos showing you the last things I need to do to complete every single thing in the game, Deep Rock Galactic, after only 2 years of playing the game, but lots and lots of grinding. So that will be super fun and exciting. And also those Doors videos coming up on the horizon. So if you enjoyed any of my Shellshockers videos, like them and subscribe. Goodbye.